Going on today, YouTube. So today we're going to change the oil on the GTI here, as well as install the steel oil pan. So first things first, when you're doing this oil pan, it's not like your typical gasket, so it's a silicone gasket, so it's going to take some dry time. So they recommend 24 hours. I'm going to let it sit as long as I can today, so hopefully she gets to sit here about 12 hours before I put oil back into the car. So first things first, it's always easiest when you're draining your oil to take your oil cap off first. It gives it some airflow backwards to push that oil all out, make sure you get it all out. But then we're going to jack this thing up, or in my case put it on this lift, and we're going to drain it out. And then after we drain it, that's when we're going to take the oil pan off. Show you how it's done. Super simple. And then we'll install that, and then what we're going to do is push the car out of here and let it sit without any oil in it for as long as possible. Like I said, about 12 hours. Recommended 24 if you got the time, and then we'll fill it back up. That's it. Alright guys, so what we're going to do here is we're going to unplug this plug here. Then you're going to drain your oil from right here. But they do recommend changing these. If you're just doing an oil change and you're watching this for that, they do recommend changing these after every oil change. If you order any of the kits off ECS Tuning or Modded Euros, they come with a new plug. So we're going to do that, drain it, and then once it's drained, take all of these out and then drop the oil pan down, and then we'll clean it all up, get it prepped for the new oil pan. You can just use a flathead screwdriver to get that plug out, and then just let it drain all the way as much as you can so you don't make a mess when you take this oil pan down. Alright, so I ordered my kit here off of ECS Tuning. They have a kit for everything, so the steel oil pan, gasket maker, all the oil that you need for this particular engine, oil filter. Also comes with a new drain plug on there, and then this is all your hardware to mount this up. I'll put a link in the bio for that. And say hello to the bottom of your engine. Alright, so we just dropped that down, so next things, we're going to have to get this sensor out of this one and install it in the other one. Alright guys, so on your sensor here, it looks like we have some 10mm nuts we're going to take off. And then if you look on the new oil pan here, there's already studs. And then I'm going to look in here. I imagine they probably give you new nuts to put on, which it looks like they do. So we're going to use the new nuts on that. Alright, so after you take your 10 mils off, this is what the sensor looks like. And then that's going in here. So it comes out this way, going in that way. So go right down like that. So next part, after you got your sensor transferred over, this is probably the most important part, is going to be basically prepping to adhere the new oil pan. So you're going to want to clean up the whole area where it mounts to. What we're doing here is just taking a rag, spray brake clean all over it, clean that up with brake clean, and then you got to kind of wait until a lot of this oil stops dripping, because you can't do it at the same time this oil's all exposed here. So once you can wipe all that down, then if you have to grind down any areas that are a little rough like this, do that. You want it to be as clean as possible to get the best suction when putting the new one on. Like I said, that's probably the most important part of this whole thing, so you don't get any leaks later on. The gasket's being done by this. They don't have an actual gasket like a lot of other cars do. That's what's warranting the weight. So now I'm kind of just chilling here, letting it drain out a little bit more. Alright, so on this, just use a little grinding wheel here, nothing too abrasive, and just kind of scuff up this part here. We want everything to be flat as possible. Then we're going to clean this oil pan out again. There's no little shavings in there. So after you line the rim here with your gasket sealer, and put her in.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search for you.
And just put all these bolts back in, and then you're gonna let the car sit for as long as you possibly can, up to 24 hours before you put oil back into it.
But we're making this too hard, and I want